Hey, welcome. Today we're jumping right into something we all do every single day: communication. We're going to break down the three key parts that decide if your message really hits the mark or if it just gets completely lost along the way. So let's just kick things off with a question that might honestly change how you think about every conversation you have from now on. What if I told you the words you're so carefully choosing are only a tiny, tiny fraction of what people are actually hearing? Well, believe it or not, a ton of research backs this up, especially when we're talking about our feelings and attitudes. This breakdown right here, it's often called the 738-55 rule, and it shows that a massive 55% of your message comes from your body language. Another 38%, that's your tone of voice. And your actual words, they're just 7%. Kind of mind-blowing, isn't it? This brings us to what you could call the communication equation. It's this really powerful but simple idea that great communication isn't just about what you say. Nope, it's a whole formula with all these different pieces working together at the same time. And when you nail that formula, when all three of those channels are perfectly in sync, that's when the magic happens. You end up creating real impact. You get that crystal clear understanding, and you build a genuine connection with whoever you're talking to. All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. We're going to decode these three channels: words, tone, and body language, one by one, so we can really see the critical role each one plays. First up, let's talk about that tiny 7%, your words. Now, it might seem small, but you can't forget, this is the foundation. Your words are what deliver the actual content, the raw data of your message. So getting them right is always step one. Just look at this example. A tiny little tweak in how you phrase something can completely change how it's perceived. Saying, "I'll try to do this," kind of sounds like you're already expecting to fail, right? But saying, "I will handle this," that projects confidence, it projects competence. Same goal, totally different vibe. So here's the key takeaway. You have to choose your words with intention. That means being super clear and to the point, frame things in a positive light, and please drop the confusing industry jargon and try to steer clear of negative words that can just shut a conversation down before it even gets going. Okay, on to the next, much bigger piece of the puzzle. Making up a whopping 38% of your message is your tone of voice. Think of it like the soundtrack to your words. It's what really shows the emotion and the attitude behind what you're saying. Think about a simple phrase like, "I'm fine." If I say it like this, "I'm fine," you believe me, right? It sounds genuine. But what if I say it like this, "I'm fine"? Yeah, immediately that things are anything but fine. See? Same words, totally different universe of meaning. That's the power of tone. And your tone is actually something you can control. It's made up of your pitch, how high or low your voice is, the pace you speak at, your volume, and even how you use pauses. Getting a handle on these gives you so much more control over the emotional punch of your message. And now, for the undisputed heavyweight champion of communication, clocking in at 55%, it's your body language. This is literally everything you're saying without opening your mouth. Your posture, your hand gestures, your eye contact. It all comes together to either build you up or tear you down. It's what creates or destroys trust and credibility. And the good news is, this doesn't have to be super complicated. I mean, think about it. Something as simple as nodding your head while someone else is talking sends such a powerful signal. It says, "Hey, I'm with you, I'm engaged, and I value what you have to say." It's a silent trust builder. So, we've got these three really powerful channels, but the real secret sauce, the thing that separates good communicators from great ones, isn't just being good at each one. It's about getting them all to work together in perfect harmony. That is the power of alignment. And you can see exactly what happens when they fall out of alignment. If your words say that's a great idea, but your tone is flat and bored, well, that's sarcasm. If you're saying reassuring words but your arms are crossed defensively, you're creating mistrust. For your message to land, everything has to line up. Alignment is everything. Okay, so you get the theory, but how do you actually start doing this? Let's switch gears and talk about your path to mastery. We've got some real, actionable techniques you can literally start using the second this is over. So here we go, 6 keys to practice. First, work on active listening. That means really, truly focusing on understanding the other person before you even think about responding. Then, stick to clear, simple words and keep your body language open and confident. Make a conscious effort to match your tone to the situation and always, always lead with empathy and respect. And finally, Don't be afraid to ask for feedback or to paraphrase what you heard to make sure you're both on the same page. And why should you even bother with all this? Because getting this right isn't just some abstract skill. It has a direct, real-world impact on your success, in your career, in your personal relationships, pretty much everywhere in your life. I love this quote from Peter Drucker because I think it just perfectly sums up everything we've talked about today. The most important thing in communication is hearing what isn't said. The real message is almost always hiding in that other 93%. So I'm going to leave you with one final thought to chew on. As you go through the rest of your day, start paying attention. Not just to the words you're saying, but to the entire message you're sending out into the world. And ask yourself this: what is my communication not saying? You might be surprised by the answer.